All right. Hello, everyone. This is Maeve Yoga, and I am Elizabeth. And tonight I'm bringing you a different kind of video. It probably doesn't sound like it, but I have a migraine, and it's something I deal with on a chronic level. It's genetic, so my mommy passed it down to me, and it's something I get to navigate. It ebbs and flows, but I figured it would be kind of fun to post something that I do when I try to take care of myself when I'm feeling this way. So, I went ahead and took a really nice hot shower, kind of just to relax my muscles, relax my body, kind of do a reset so that way I feel nice and calm for bed. So that's why my hair is still up in a towel, and I'm going to kind of just walk you through what I'm going to do to take care of my skin, what type of lotion I apply to kind of really help relax those muscles more and get rid of the tension. And in that way, then when I go to bed, I am setting myself up for success to then feel better in the morning when I wake up, and hopefully I get a great night's rest. So let's get started. So I'm just going to take my hair out real fast. All right. So one thing I'll do is I'm going to braid my hair. So I'm just going to kind of brush through it. I'll talk about my day. So today is a Monday, and every Monday I do teach a live class at 7 p.m. at one of my local gyms in Columbus, Ohio. And, unless the migraine is so debilitating that I am physically ill, I normally go ahead and teach. Sometimes that means that my class will look a little different. So for instance, I might do less flow, and especially not as many inversions, because the blood rush makes it to where I get really lightheaded. So it's important to acknowledge how your body feels when you're feeling a certain way. So then that way you don't make it worse by doing something that's gonna, disagree with it. Fortunately tonight it was more so of a draining migraine, so it might not even be the worst migraine I've ever gotten. Like it's still solid there. But I was able to somewhat do a normal class, and I focused a lot on breath and kind of taking it slow, taking it gentle. So then that way, number one, I'm not wearing myself out to where I might, have some type of accident in class where like I pass out or, get sick from how my body is responding to a physical practice. There have been nights where I went to go teach a class and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a pretty much a restorative class. Now the gym I teach at, it does not have props. So for instance, when I am teaching a restorative class, I have to figure out kind of a way to do it and make it fun and beneficial without having like, the bolsters and the straps and the blankets to kind of just, make that nest and make it as yummy as possible. A goal I do have one day is to be able to set up in a space where I can have all of that and I can create the most delicious, yummy practice for anyone who comes, because restorative yoga is actually my favorite. Like getting into a position and just like relaxing there and being there long enough that your body really does fully release into that stretch is amazing. So I definitely have a huge goal around that. But sometimes when I'm having a migraine, I'll teach a version of it, more like a yin class, just so that I can make sure I'm taking care of myself. And that's how I approach a lot of my classes too. Like even if I'm not feeling ill, or, have a migraine, I normally will still go ahead and show up in a way that I'm like, okay, what am I feeling this evening? And then I teach a class based on how I'm feeling. And I find that's really important because like my personal experience is that if I'm not invested in what I'm doing and what I'm saying, it's going to show with how I'm actually leading the class. So if I don't feel good and I'm trying to make us do 5 sun salutations because I want it to be a nice heavy sweat flow class and my body's like, then like it's going to show. in my energy, it's going to show in my body, it's going to show in my voice, and it's not going to be a very supportive class for the rest of the people in there. So I do always recommend listening to your body beforehand. And then also with my in-person classes, I do take recommendations too. So even though I show up with an intention of kind of, doing what feels good to me and hopefully it feels good to others, I have had students, come in and they're like, hey, I've been having like a lot of back pain. What are some things that I can do? And I'm like, hey, let's do an entire class that's addressing that type of situation. And so then that way they feel like I'm specifically supporting them. And that is definitely my goal. So I got my hair braided. Next thing, I'm going to go ahead and wash my face. So I'm going to be putting lotion on my face, but I want to make sure my pores, even though I just took a shower, are extra clean. So I use Witch Hazel. This is Kroger brand. So, if I can buy off-brand, I do. And then I got some, reusable cotton swabs or cotton pads. I've been using this astringent since I was 11. So for, 17 years to age myself specifically. And it has worked wonders on my skin. I have been fortunate enough not to have really bad acne. Like every once in a while I get a bad one. But for the most part, as long as I keep my skin clean, I don't really have issues. So one thing I did have to start doing though is moisturizing, which, I probably needed to do anyways, but it's okay. So but yeah. Sorry for the boring content while I am, scrubbing my face. It does feel so good though. And it's very cool because it does have like a small amount of alcohol in it. So when you put it on your skin and everything. So if you do have sensitive skin, be careful. Because I would hate for someone to, buy witch hazel and then have a breakout or a bad rash because they tried something new on their skin and it didn't work. But it does work for me. So I like it. I have recommended it to friends before and they've had success. But at the same time, you just got to make sure that it works for you before you try it on your whole face, like maybe, on your hand first. So, now that my skin, is nice and clean, yeah, I washed it in the shower, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure I got any extra dirt that got left behind. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with something called Deep Blue. Now I no longer subscribe to doTERRA, but this is a doTERRA lotion. And this liter bottle, which by the way, the pump doesn't work, so I have to like pull it out and wipe it on my hand to get anything out of it. And it's still over halfway full, but this bottle I've had for, I really want to say going on like 5 years. It's been a while. It's been a minute. It might be 4 years, but it's definitely more than 3. So definitely lasts, but at the same time, once it's gone, I'm not really going to resubscribe to that product. So I'll just have to find something new. But I get it on my hands, it's nice and cooling. And I'm going to start by just kind of rubbing it onto my neck, getting a nice good smear going. And then one thing that I really like about this stuff is it's very cooling and it kind of shocks my muscles into relaxing. And so I do leave some on my hands and then I wipe it on my forehead. Now, once again, if you have sensitive skin, you want to be careful of this. And then also it does caution about having it near your eyes. So I'm probably going to start crying in this video and it's okay. I do it all the time. But it definitely helps when I'm having a headache because I carry a lot of the tension in my temples, along my scalp, and especially in the back of my neck. And having this lotion on my skin helps me really release that tension. So I'm just going to rub it in. Continue to breathe. And it smells really good too. It has peppermint in it. So sometimes what I like to do is just really clears the sinuses. If anyone has ever had spicy mustard on their egg roll at a Chinese restaurant, this like does the same thing. Like your nose just clears right up. And my eyes are squinty now because I'm definitely starting to tear up from all of the cool sensations on my face, but it feels so lovely. So I'm going to take a few other deep breaths here. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for if you watched this whole 10-minute video of me taking care of myself as I get ready for bed. Another thing I just wanted to add is something that I'll do to support myself in the nighttime is I have a couple ice packs that are in my freezer. I'm going to go ahead and get those out, and I'm going to sleep with one directly underneath my neck, and then I'm going to have one down the length of my spine. And then that way it kind of really cools the body temperature, so that way I don't get overheated, which will help reduce the migraine. So that's at least how I get to experience taking care of myself. If you've never tried any of these things and you also suffer from migraines, give it a shot. And, of course, take medication. Like I'm definitely going to go ahead and take a couple ibuprofen and crawl into bed and call it a night. So I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and I look forward to next time. Please comment below and then like and subscribe. Look forward to next time.